The landscapes of Brazil and Argentina hold a secret, one hidden just beneath the surface of the earth for thousands of years. Imagine walking through a forest and stumbling upon a gaping hole in a hillside, an opening so large you could almost drive a small car into it. This is precisely what has been happening across South America. Scientists have now documented over 1,500 of these enormous underground tunnels known as paleoburrows. These are not simple caves carved by water or wind. They are complex, winding networks that stretch deep into the ground, with some astonishing examples reaching over 600 meters in length. Their sheer scale and number presented a profound puzzle to the people who first found them. Initially, researchers considered many possibilities for their origin. Could they be the work of ancient human civilizations, perhaps forgotten mines or elaborate shelters? This idea was quickly dismissed. The tunnels predate any known human societies capable of such monumental engineering, and they contain no artifacts or signs of human habitation. Another theory suggested natural geological processes were at play, such as the formation of lava tubes or the slow erosion of rock by water. Yet the tunnels did not match any known geological patterns. Their smooth, often circular or elliptical shapes and complex branching pathways were unlike anything nature typically creates on its own. The mystery only deepened as more of these structures were found. The most compelling clues lay etched into the very walls of these subterranean mazes. As geologists like Heinrich Frank ventured deeper into the darkness, their flashlights revealed something truly extraordinary. The ceilings and walls were covered in strange, long grooves, often appearing in sets of 2 or 3 parallel marks. These were not random scratches. They were the unmistakable fossilized traces of immense claws scraping away at the clay, sediment and rock, bucketful by bucketful. It became clear that these tunnels were not formed by accident. They were excavated, dug out with purpose and incredible power by a creature of immense size and strength. The tunnels were, in fact, the fossilized burrows of a long-extinct animal. The scale of this underground world is difficult to comprehend. Dotted across the landscape, these tunnels represent a colossal amount of earth moved by creatures that lived during the last ice age. Some burrows are single, straightforward tunnels, while others are incredibly complex, with multiple entrances, interconnected chambers, and branching passages that suggest they were used and expanded over many generations. The presence of these claw marks, found consistently throughout the network of paleoburrows, finally pointed scientists in the right direction. The culprit was not human, nor was it a force of nature. It was an animal, a giant from South America's prehistoric past. The identity of these master builders is as impressive as the structures they left behind. The evidence points overwhelmingly to a group of animals known as giant ground sloths. These were not the slow, tree-dwelling creatures we know today. During the Pleistocene epoch, which ended around 10,000 years ago, these magnificent beasts roamed South America. Species like Megatherium were titans of their time, growing to the size of a modern elephant and weighing several tons. They were herbivores, but they were equipped with powerful limbs and, most importantly, enormous, formidable claws, perfectly suited for digging into the earth. These colossal animals were true ecosystem engineers, actively shaping the world around them. While their claws could have been used for pulling down branches to feed or for defending themselves, the discovery of the paleoburrows reveals another, previously unknown purpose for their incredible anatomy. Excavating tunnels of this magnitude would have required immense strength and persistence. The sloths would have used their powerful forelimbs and massive claws to systematically carve out the soil and rock, creating extensive shelters for themselves and their young. These were not just simple dens, they were architectural feats that provided a stable and secure environment. Why would a creature the size of an elephant need to dig such elaborate homes? The world of the Pleistocene was a dangerous place, filled with formidable predators. While a fully grown giant sloth was a force to be reckoned with, the young, the old, or the sick would have been vulnerable. These tunnels would have offered a sanctuary, a safe haven from predators like the saber-toothed cat. Furthermore, the burrows would have provided a stable climate, protecting the sloths from the extreme weather fluctuations of the Ice Age, keeping them cool during the heat and warm during the cold. They were, in essence, prehistoric homes built on a gigantic scale. The sheer number of these tunnels suggests that burrow digging was a common and vital behavior for many species of giant sloth and perhaps other megafauna, like giant armadillos. The complexity of some tunnel systems, with their multiple chambers and connecting passages, hints that they may have been communal or passed down through generations, with each successive group of sloths adding to the work of their ancestors. This discovery has completely changed our understanding of these animals. No longer seen as just passive herbivores, they are now recognized as active, intelligent creatures that profoundly modified their own environment for survival. The tale of the giant sloths does not end with their incredible burrows. Astonishingly, we also have fossil evidence that captures moments of direct interaction between these giants and the first humans to arrive in the Americas. At sites like White Sands National Park in what is now New Mexico, ancient lake beds have preserved a dramatic story written in mud that later turned to stone. Fossilized footprints reveal the tracks of both giant sloths and humans, interlaced in a way that tells a clear story of a hunt. The evidence shows human footprints following the sloth, sometimes even stepping inside the larger tracks left by the animal. These ancient trackways are like a freeze frame of a prehistoric chase. Researchers have been able to analyze the patterns and spacing of the footprints to reconstruct the behavior of both the hunter and the hunted. The sloth's tracks show it making sudden turns and defensive maneuvers, even rearing up on its hind legs, a behavior confirmed by the presence of only its back footprints in certain areas. This action would have allowed the sloth to use its giant claws as terrifying defensive weapons. The human tracks, in turn, show stalking behavior, with a larger group of hunters working together to distract and flank the massive animal. This evidence provides a vivid window into the lives of early Americans and the challenges they faced. Hunting a giant ground sloth would not have been an easy task. It would have required immense courage, cooperation, and skill. These encounters were high-stakes dramas where survival was on the line for both human and sloth. The footprints tell us that our ancestors were not just scavengers. They were capable and strategic predators who were able to take down some of the largest land mammals that have ever lived. This direct evidence of interaction is incredibly rare and precious. The relationship between humans and giant sloths was a critical part of the ecological story at the end of the Ice Age. For the sloths, the arrival of humans introduced a new and highly intelligent predator to their world, one that could think, plan, and use tools. For humans, the giant sloths represented a significant source of food that could sustain a community. The discovery of both the paleoburrows and these footprint fossils helps us piece together a more complete picture of this lost ecosystem, revealing the complex dynamics between the megafauna and the people who lived alongside them just before the sloths disappeared forever. The discovery that giant sloths were colossal tunnel diggers is a revolutionary moment for paleontology. It fundamentally changes our perception of these animals and the prehistoric landscapes they inhabited. We now understand that they were not just passive giants wandering the plains, but were powerful agents of environmental change. By digging these massive burrows, they created new habitats that could have been used by countless other, smaller species, much like prairie dogs do today. These sloths were, in every sense, ecosystem engineers, and their activities would have had a ripple effect throughout their entire environment. These findings are immensely important for understanding the world at the end of the last ice age. The paleoburrows are a new type of fossil, a trace fossil of behavior on an epic scale. They provide a direct link to the way these extinct animals lived, something that bones alone can never show us. They tell a story of family life, of seeking shelter, and of the daily struggle for survival. As scientists continue to explore these tunnels, they are learning more about the social structures of the sloths and the pressures they faced from predators and a changing climate, which ultimately led to their extinction. Today, the search for more paleoburrows continues, and with each new discovery, our map of this ancient underground world expands. Researchers are working to date the tunnels more precisely, to determine which sloth species dug which types of burrows, and to understand the full extent of their geographic range. There are still so many unanswered questions. How long did it take to dig one of these tunnels? Were they used year-round? Did multiple families of sloths live together in the larger, more complex systems? Each burrow is a time capsule waiting to be opened. The story of the giant sloths and their tunnels is a powerful reminder that the past is still very much with us, hidden just beneath our feet. It shows that there are still great discoveries to be made, and that our understanding of prehistoric life is constantly evolving. These magnificent creatures may be long gone, but they have left behind an enduring legacy written in the earth itself. By studying these incredible structures, we are not just learning about the sloths, we are gaining a deeper and more wondrous appreciation for the complexity and richness of life in a world that existed long before our own.